what legitimately is the biggest stage in the world, at least when it comes to people tuning in, and we're talking about the World Cup. As we all know, the World Cup, viewers, for some inexplicable reason is being held in winter in the Northern Hemisphere and in Qatar. Exceptions have been made, rules have been bent, and now it appears, and this is what's so worrying, that even principles are being abandoned. Viewers, we are always told that sports is the ultimate tool for diplomacy. You put your best foot forward. You only have to hear how Indian liberals promote the cause, for example, of Indo-Pak cricketing ties. They always say, don't let politics get in the way, because the principle matters more. Sport is unifying. And under the rubric of that, sports can be a great channel to engage. Well, viewers, today the opposite is happening. The world is giving Qatar a wide berth. Western leftists have totally abandoned their principles. They have accepted that Qatar is justified to prosecute LGBTs attending the World Cup. Qatar says holding hands in public is not an offense. But viewers, you know how that goes. There will always be somebody from the ubiquitous moral police that will jump the gun. His sensitivities will be so outraged that there might be incarceration or all sorts of humiliation and worse directed towards the unsuspecting couple. Viewers, in Iran, a woman who had her head covered but had only a strand of hair exposed was beaten to death. What use are these guarantees that if you are found holding hands, you will not be prosecuted under Qatari law? Viewers, we all know that in Islam, homosexuality is considered a grave sin. And who is to say, viewers, some zealot might be so moved as to take some action? Here in India, the ecosystem is deathly quiet too. Have you seen any of the leftists standing up and objecting about this? No. Even though they took the knee for Dalits supposedly facing discrimination here in India under what they call is a repressive Hindu nationalist BJP government. When an American black citizen was killed, viewers, Black Lives Matters protests emerged out of nowhere. People were taking the knees even on football grounds, cricket grounds. Indian cricket team also took the knee. But viewers, here a large number of Indians from the left ecosystem took the knee for Dalits, saying that even Dalit lives matter in this country, so we must take the knee. But today, viewers, no one is taking the knee in Qatar for LGBTs. But it's not LGBT rights that are our concern today at this moment. Of course, we are worried about how LGBTs are going to be treated in Qatar. And one is very distressed that any number of horrors can visit upon them. But today, viewers, we're just setting that aside. We are worried about how Qatar is being allowed to walk all over Hindu sentiments. Times Now has accessed visuals of fugitive Hindu baiting, hate-mongering preacher Zakir Naik in Qatar. He's on stage. And guess what this absolute communalist is doing? He's converting people. He's giving lectures on peace, on why the rest of humanity should give up its apostasy and join Islam. He's being allowed to do all of this, viewers. He's continuing his tirade against other religions, and remember, he's wanted here in India. I'll tell you the reasons why, and you'll be appalled to know. But right now, viewers, he's there in Qatar, supposedly on the invitation of the Qatar government, if you please, to lecture the people on the sidelines of the World Cup. This disregard for Hindi sentiments is from the same Qatar government that called our ambassador and gave him a dressing down over Nupur Sharma's comments on the Prophet that upset Muslims. There is no reciprocity. Viewers, it's really sad. It's really sad that this has been allowed to happen. Even the Indian government, let me tell you, viewers, has not put pressure on the Qatar government either to revoke this man's invite, send him packing back to Indonesia or Malaysia or wherever he's come from, or then hand him over. The even greater tragedy, however, is that here in India, progressive Muslims, left intellectuals and self-styled secular politicians aren't condemning Qatar for inviting Zakir Naik. When you ask them, what do you have to say about this? They very cleverly deflect. They skirt the question and they say, well, Qatar is a foreign country, what can we do about it? The same Qatar they supported, viewers, for pulling up our government over Nupur. I'm not saying they were wrong, but then there should be some consistency. Today, when the shoe is on the other foot, when Qatar is disrespecting Hindu sentiments, why is everyone quiet? Is this because they don't think that Zakir is an anti-Hindu hate monger? Is that what it is? Or is there Hindu phobia, viewers, getting the better of them? I hope not. But I'm mystified by the silence. If confirmation was needed, then here it is, viewers. Listen to why this person needs to be opposed. Listen to this so-called religious preacher rubbishing every religion and calling upon a ban on the construction of Hindu temples in Islamic nations. This man, in any other language, would be called a bigot. But clearly, viewers, he's an ambassador of the faith for the Qatar government. And quite clearly, from the silence, from the ecosystem, from opposition parties, he's probably an ambassador of the faith for them too. But first, listen to Zakir Naik and his disgusting comments in the past. This is a man, viewers, who's even rationalized sex slavery. This is the man and this is the mindset. Listen in.
But there are other scholars like Sheikh Salman Auda, he is mashallah one of the great scholars of this time. He says that if under normal circumstances it's haram, but if the situation demands, like in Palestine, every day they are being killed and thousands are being killed throughout the year, so it is rather that they have to fight in self-defense, and if they know that they use an attack in which the chances of dying are there, and if they really cause a damage to the opponent, as a last resort, with guidance from a scholar who has not that one individual person gets up in the night and says, okay, fine, I'll go out. So with guidance of the Quran and Sunnah, as a last resort, it can be used. As a last resort, it can be used, and I do agree with Sheikh Salman Auda. Hope that answers the question.
सिर्फ एक ही सही दिन है, वो है इस्लाम. और अल्लाह ताला फरमाते हैं सूरह इमरान सूरह नंबर 3 आयत नंबर 85 में क्या इस्लाम के अलावा कोई भी दिगर मज़हब अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला कबूल नहीं करेंगे. तो दीन के मामले में हम जानते हैं इस्लाम ही सिर्फ सही दीन है, इसीलिए हम दूसरे दीन का प्रोपगेशन अलाउ नहीं करते. जहां तक कि दूसरा सवाल है कि हम चर्च बनाने देंगे या टेम्पल बनाने देंगे, जब दीन ही गलत है और चर्च में ईसा अलैहिस्सलाम को पूजना गलत है, बुत परस्ती गलत है, इसीलिए हम गलत चीज हमारे मुल्क में अलाउ नहीं करेंगे.
If he's on the truth, if he's fighting the enemies of Islam, I'm for him. If he's terrorizing America, the terrorist, biggest terrorist, I'm with him. Every Muslim should be a terrorist.
Every Muslim should be a terrorist. No churches and temples should be built ever on Muslim lands. He rationalizes suicide bombings. In India, viewers, he is wanted for encouraging feelings of enmity and hatred. I'm quoting straight out of the charge sheets, the cases that have been filed against him by agencies here, and as per the Gazette notification that banned his organization, the IRF, in this country. Naik is extolling known terrorists in his speeches. Naik justified suicide bombings in his speeches. You heard that very clearly. Acts of IRF, highly inflammatory in nature, such divisive ideology against India's secular fabric. These are all the reasons. Promoting forcible conversion of youth to Islam. Because he's even doing it on that stage right there. Four youth who attended the World Cup have been converted. But viewers, here in this country, you have politicians who'd rather look away. They will not condemn either Qatar or this man for his views. Listen in.
ये तो कतर की एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बताएगी कि उन्होंने आखिर क्यों किया, क्योंकि ना तो इंडियन टीम वहां खेल रही है और ना हमारा उससे कोई लेना देना है। हम तो ये बता सकते हैं कि बाबा भीमराव अंबेडकर साहब के संविधान की अवहेलना कौन कौन कर रहा है, उसका नाम भी बता देंगे, उसका काम भी बता देंगे।
अब ये तो एक पॉलिटिकल इशू है कि कतर देगा उसको या नहीं देगा, मगर अगर उनको उसको बुलाया है और वो लेजिटिमेट रीज़न से अपना वीज़ा पासपोर्ट सब उनके पास है, उसके बिना के ऊपर ट्रैवल कर सकते हैं, तो सरकार एट गवर्नमेंट लेवल उनके साथ बात करे अगर उनको तकलीफ है।
मुझे क्या कहना होगा, मैं तो फुटबॉल देख रहा हूं। जो लोग जाकिर नायक को देख रहे हैं वो देखते रहे, हम फुटबॉल देख रहे हैं।
हम फुटबॉल देख रहे हैं। Viewers, let me open this up.